What's up, guys? I got a new design for a fully automated loot base with 4 layers to loot and an external input and output base. Let's get started. Okay, and we're going to start our build by placing a triangle foundation as close as we can to the ground, and a half step up from that we're going to place square foundations. We're going to jump up here, and leading towards where we want our entrance, we're going to place one more square and a triangle foundation. Out in front of each of these squares, we're going to build up an octagon of triangles. We're going to fill in this gap here. And then on the back side, we're going to do the same shape. Over on either side of these squares here, we're going to place a triangle and a square on each side. And then for these new squares, we're going to place triangles on all the open sides. This is our current foundation layout. Alright, the first thing I want to do is make an airlock and seal myself in. So I'm just going to start on the back here. So I'm going to place my tool cupboard here. So I'm going to leave that open for now. This is the back of my loot rooms right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and place my doorways for my airlock. Place the walls facing out here for that. And just close this in the rest of the way. I'm going to throw my roof on here real quick. And get my doors on. I'm going to place a wall right here to help me place my tool cupboard, which is just going to kind of get tucked back into this corner. And we're sealed in with our working space here. Okay, next we're going to finish out our first layer of honeycombing. A couple things to note here. These front foundations are going to stay open. Those front two right there. Same on this side. Those front two foundations are going to stay open. And then in order to save on material cost, when we make it to these triangles out here, we're not going to place walls in between them. So this will be the same on the back side here. So coming from the entrance, this is what I'm calling the back. So we're just going to go ahead and place these walls here and here. We don't need the dividing wall in the center, just saving on materials. And same over here. So we're just going to skip on that center divide right there. Alright, there's our first layer of walls. I'm going to go ahead and place all the floors. Next, I'm going to start the layers of half walls that are going to be protecting the loot room. So this is 4 layers to the loot room, not 4 layers to tool cupboard. There will be external TCs, so the tool cupboard isn't as important. So the first layer that's going to go down here, it's going to basically end at all these last triangles. So I'm going to go ahead and start placing these half walls like this. And then I'm going to honeycomb everything inside of here. Alright, now that I got that all honeycombed, I'm going to go ahead and place the floors. Okay, time for the next layer of half walls, and these ones we're basically just going to cut out these little house shapes here, so I'll leave that behind there. And then the same over here. Come back in here on these spikes. And place that right there. I'm going to go ahead and fill in these walls with honeycomb and place the floor. Now with those floors placed, it's time for the very last set of half walls here, directly over top of our loot room. Alright, here's the external layers finished. Now time to go inside. Alright, so we're back in the base, and I'm going to put some last touches on the walls here around the tool cupboard. And I'm going to attach a storage monitor and a storage adapter to this tool cupboard. These two things are optional. You can do this after these next steps, but I think it's easiest to do it now, and I think that they're nice to have. Now next I'm going to place a window here so that I can still have access to this tool cupboard, and we'll set up the automation later. Okay, next we're going to set up the loot rooms. I'm going to throw some walls up here with the strong side facing out, and place a half wall so that I can split the floors inside of my loot rooms. So place a triangle there so I can put these here, and this triangle will come out here in a second. Just starting out, I'm going to place this chest back in this far corner here. I'm going to put the storage adapter on the front of it, and then I'm going to put the small box down. We can attach more storage monitors later, but that one's the most important because it can kind of get in the way. I'm going to skip putting the box right there for now, but we could do this exact same thing. And I'm going to do 2 boxes on this side. Now I'm going to go down to the bottom floor. Alright, so this is how I've set up the bottom layer. Making sure to put that storage adapter on before I put the small boxes in. And I left the small box out here so that I can still have access to the tool cupboard here. Now I had left these boxes out up here, but if you wanted to put them in now, once you got that Rust Plus app all set up, you don't need to get back into here. So we're going to go ahead and we can just finish this off now. Throw that box there, storage adapter, and then the small box right onto the edge of it. Now whenever we want to seal up our tool cupboard, that's as easy as just putting a window and an embrasure on there. So we just put the window on normal and make sure that our embrasure is on the outside. Okay, next I'm going to put my furnaces in down in this little triangle here. So the first one I'm going to place snug up against this wall here. And then each one I'm just going to change the orientation of it. So this next one's going to end up back in that back corner as far as I can get it. And then facing this way, this very last one, as close as I can. And after everything worked out, I should be able to get a storage monitor on the side of each one here. Next I'm going to place the double doors on my loot rooms, opening in. And I'm going to finish this off by putting my doorway into that room there, and a single door that is. And I'm going to face that out. There's that space finished off. And now I'm going to make the space for my batteries. So I'm going to close this off here. I'm going to place a large battery in each one of these spaces. As close as I can get it to that back corner. You can get to these later, but it's easiest if you do everything right now. I'm going to go into my loot room. I'm going to place up on the ceiling in the corners electrical branch to connect each battery to. So each one's going to come into its own. Take the power output, run it however you like to this branch, and do the same on the other side. Then we're going to seal these in with a half walls, just so that we can get to it later if we need to. We're going to take out that bottom half wall, and we're going to put the low wall. These are facing outward. We're trying to prevent people from coming in. So there's our batteries. And imagine you have solar panels or wind turbine on your roof. Alright, and that completes our build. Here you can see the upkeep cost per 24 hours is 7,722 metal frags and 24 high quality metal. And here you can see the cost to complete the build. And that includes the twig. So that's 148 high quality metal, 25 gears, 12,626 wood, and 38,610 metal frags. Now that the main build's complete, I'm going to build my externals. I'm going to do that by putting a triangle out in front here, deleting back these two, building out 5 square foundations, and I can place a tool cupboard here. And I'm going to build walls around this. Now this is up to you. You could place a window here, or you could place a wall if it's just you that's going to be building. I like to place a window just in case something happens, or if I need to let teammates get access to it. So that's the one out front. Now I'm going to go behind and place one. Now that I'm behind the base, I'm going to place a square right here and a triangle. Remove that square. And this one I'm going to build out 5 square foundations and place a triangle. Build my walls and window. For the externals on the side, we're going to have to freehand. There's not really too easy of a way to get it perfect. So what we're going to do is just line up our externals. We're going to get this seam right here in the center of our screen. It's that point right up here. I'm just looking at my big marker on the top of my screen. And I'm going to line up these other ones on the edges of my screen. And I'm just going to throw this triangle down. And that's close enough. So I'm going to build out 5 foundations, and I should be able to place a tool cupboard. Now I'm going to build my walls. Now that one's complete. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Now that I got all 4 of those built, I am going to put windows and embrasures on all of them, so that then it has the same strength all the way around. And with all 4 of our externals complete, you can see here that it's raised the upkeep cost by 60 metal frags per day, and it's added 1,142 stone. That's for all 4 of them combined. And then for the cost to build the externals, that's just going to be 600 metal frags and then 11,415 stone. Now I'm going to build some high walls and gates. I'm going to start by placing a high wall over here. as close as I can get it to this external's arm reaching in here. I'm going to line up the edge with the edge of that square foundation there. And just back up until I'm able to place it. Then I'm going to come up here against my building and just turn around. Make sure I'm lining up here and try my best to get that angle to match up. Place my gate. Now I'm going to come over here and do something similar with the high wall as I did over on the other side. Let's get it lined up with the edge of that square. Back up until I'm able to place it. And I should be able to get another wall right into here. And obviously that doesn't have to be perfect, but there's the start of that. And the reason that I'm building this so close is because there's going to be a pipe coming through from this base over to another base I'm going to build over here. Now I'm just going to finish out the high walls in that space. As you would expect, they're just going to reach out. Okay, and there's what it looks like with those high walls finished. How you finish off the backside is up to you. If you want to have multiple entrances to this space, that would not be a bad idea. If you want to connect straight across from one side to the other, that would save you on resources. If you cut in, it'd just make a smaller footprint and give you some more options for defense around the outside here. Just going to leave that up to you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut straight over and just have a big yard inside of my compound here. And to make sure I'm lining up with these externals, I'm just going to start over here with the wall flipped and see how close I can get. Kind of line up with that wall over there and just run straight at it. Okay, so I got all them walls up. You can see where I finished. I was back in this corner. Kind of had to finagle it a little bit. And something to keep in mind if you do build it with this big of a yard is that the building privilege right around here, it's pretty close to the walls, so you're going to want to have another external out here, or just build this wall out a little bit further to encapsulate a whole nother cupboard that you could have outside of here. But next what we're going to do is just build a small base here outside of this base. The design of this base is really up to you and how you plan to use it, but it will need to have a couple features. Since this is going to act as an external tool cupboard, we need to make sure that there's at least a block far enough away that a tool cupboard can be placed on it. And also, we're going to need to make sure that there's block close enough to this other base that we'll be able to run pipes the length of it. This build was made on the Rusticated creative server, and I will be making this base available for you to check out. This video is getting a little long though, so I've decided to split the automation off into its own video, so we'll see you on the next one.